Hi, everybody. Dan Illman, Mike Beer. The feature race at Oaklawn Park on Saturday is the Pippin. Fillies and Mares going a mile and a 16th, carded as race number 9. Let's take a look at this field. Butterbean beat several of these last time out, but Butterbean was not a 5-2 shot that day. Butterbean was 11-1, was last time the time.
In a lot of ways it was. I mean, not only was that Mistletoe, and 4 of these 5 horses were in the Mistletoe last time, Dan. The Mistletoe was a bigger field. It was a very fast pace, and Butterbean just had a clean trip into it and sort of took advantage a little bit. This race is supposed to be run in the total opposite fashion.
And that might help a horse like the One Lovely Ride, who won the Mistletoe and the Pippin last year. Didn't run so well in the Mistletoe this year. Let's throw up the Timeform US Pace Projector. Lovely Ride's game is speed. Lovely Ride last time out was on a fast and contested pace and paid the price in her first start since May. She might not have to work nearly as hard to get to the front from the rail.
Yeah, the pace really worked against her last time, too, because she made the lead briefly, but they just wouldn't let her have it. There were a couple of horses that came right after her and made her take back into the pocket. And then she got all jammed up into the far turn there and had to check right out of the race. Basically, Dan, she's making the lead in here.
Yeah, things got very tight for her down on the inside after the half-mile pole or so. We'll talk a little bit more about Lovely Ride, who ran so well at Oaklawn last year, not only winning the 2 stakes I mentioned, but running second in the Bayacoa behind Amore, who's a legitimate graded stakes type on her best day. So it's her second off the layoff. She could be loose speed. She goes out for a high percentage barn, and she's 9-2 on the morning line. Why aren't we running to the window?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's pretty clear just from looking at her PPs, in particular those races that you were talking about here at Oaklawn last year, Dan. When she can make her way to the early lead without a lot of pressure, she's really hard to run down, and that might be the case here.
Bit of question, though, about her current form, though. Her second half of 2023, not as good as what we saw at Oaklawn and the first race back. We didn't really learn too much. The number 2 is Misty Vale, and lo and behold, Misty Vale was second in the Mistletoe, something she's done a lot of in her career. She likes to run second, 11 times in the runner-up spot. In the Mistletoe, she found a spot in the pocket, and it looked like the jock really wanted to get aggressive and control that inside position. Moved up at the half-mile pole, sort of bumped with the horse down on the rail, that being Lovely Ride. Back in the pocket, but the rail opened up. She had a clear run. She had a clear shot, and she couldn't hold off Butterbean.
Yeah, that's kind of how I looked at it, too. I mean, there are ways, I guess, to look at that race and say, if she doesn't get stopped into the far turn there, maybe that's when she takes over and the result winds up being a little different. I personally felt like even though she got in a little bit tight, she still held her position. She was in a great spot. She got through on the rail. She made the lead, and she just wasn't good enough in that race. As you've already mentioned, she likes to settle for second. That would have me sort of leaning away from her in this spot, but she can obviously win here.
Here's Butterbean for trainer Kenny McPeak, winning the Mistletoe ahead of 3 of these, and this one just comes widest and fastest. You're going to see Misty Vale down towards the inside. Second from the left is Ice Orchid, and Butterbean just got the setup. Julian Leperoux waited back. The pace was fast. She rolled late.
Yeah, I mean, I like this horse, but she certainly took advantage in here, and just more than anything else, not only was the pace fast in front of her, she just had a clean trip all the way around the track, never got stopped, out into the clear top of the stretch. And that was after not really losing any ground around the final turn. And then she just closed them down at the end. She ran well in there. The dynamics are supposed to be totally different in this race.
If you don't like horses coming out of the Mistletoe, how about the 4? Tis a Macho Girl. Her last 2 victories have come at venues like Delta Downs and Emerald. Here's her win at Delta last time out. Her second race off a little bit of a layoff, and I thought she did what she had to do in this race as the favorite, Mike. It's not like this was a very fast pace, and she's able to grind it down late. Solid enough number. She ran pretty quickly 2 starts back. She's not really out of this from a buyer speed figure standpoint. Now we'll find out how good she is from a class standpoint.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I won't knock her. She's 7 for 12 in her career on dirt. So, I mean, she's obviously got credentials to win here. And as you've already mentioned, she's the new face in here. So maybe that's enough to get you looking at her. I didn't really want the new face, but she's pretty good in her own right.
Ice Orchid, the 5, completes this field. She's another one that likes to run second. She was 3rd in the Mistletoe, but I thought she had a little bit of an excuse. She was just wide all the way around the track. She must have been 6th path on the backstretch, 4 wide on the second turn. She was uncovered. She provided the winner with the cover, and then she understandably flattened out late. If she can get just a little bit of a better trip and save a little bit more ground, I think she can turn the tables.
I don't have anything to add to that. It's exactly how I looked at her, Dan. You could watch the stretch run of that race as we just showed a little while ago there, and you can see that she had dead aim there. and just sort of couldn't get by. But all the stuff that led up to that, I thought maybe wound up costing her at the end. Better trip this time. She's supposed to be tough.
Let's take a look at our top pick for the Pippin, and we're going to go with Ice Orchid. I am worried about the horse down on the rail, Mike, because we've seen what happens if that horse gets loose on the lead. These other riders can't fall asleep.
Yeah, that's my exact 5-1.
Mike's going 5-1. Ice Orchid is our top pick in the Pippin at Oaklawn on Saturday. Good luck.